Welcome back to my channel, Valuable Rare Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we'll uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We have a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike, the 1937 Mercury Dime. If you're a fan of rare and valuable coins, or if you're just starting to dip your toes into the world of numismatics, this one is a must-know. The 1937 Mercury Dime is a piece of US history that's been cherished by collectors for years. But did you know that one particular variety of this dime could be worth a small fortune? Stick with me until the end of this video, where I'll reveal just how much a 1937 Mercury Dime could be worth today. Before we dive into the value, let's take a look at the coin itself. The Mercury Dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime, was produced by the United States Mint from 1916 to 1945. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, the coin features a portrait of Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought and the pursuit of liberty. On the reverse side, you'll find an image of a fasces, a bundle of rods symbolizing unity and strength, along with an olive branch to represent peace. The design is simple yet striking, and its elegance has made it one of the most popular coins in US numismatics. However, while most of the Mercury dimes from the 1930s are relatively affordable for collectors, the 1937 Mercury dime stands out for a very specific reason: its unique characteristics and rarity. What makes the 1937 Mercury dime so special? Like all coins, the 1937 version was produced in large quantities, but there's one particular variety of the coin that is extremely rare, and that's the 1937 D/D mint mark error. The mint mark, located just beneath the olive branch on the reverse, shows the letter D for Denver, where the coin was minted. However, some coins struck that year have a noticeable D over another D, a result of a minting error that occurred during production. This D/D variety is incredibly sought after by collectors because of its rarity and the fact that only a small percentage of the 1937 dimes were struck with this mint mark error. As with most error coins, the condition of the coin also plays a major role in its value. A coin with this type of error that has been well preserved and graded highly by professional services can be worth a significant amount of money. Now, let's talk about the condition. The 1937 Mercury dime, like many coins, is often found in various states of wear. Coins that have been circulated for many years can show signs of aging, including scratches, nicks, and discoloration, all of which can lower their value. On the other hand, a coin that has been kept in pristine condition, especially one that has been carefully stored and preserved in a collection, can fetch a much higher price. For those who are lucky enough to own a 1937 Mercury dime with the D/D mint mark error in exceptional condition, you could be looking at a very valuable coin. In fact, a well-preserved version of this coin has been known to sell for a staggering amount at auction. Some of these rare coins have been sold for $345,000. That's right, $345,000 for a single dime. While this price may seem hard to believe for a coin that was originally worth just 10 cents, it's a perfect example of how rare mint errors, combined with high demand from collectors, can drive the value of a coin to astronomical heights. Error coins are highly desirable because they're unique and not mass-produced, which makes them a standout in any collection. If you think you might have a 1937 Mercury dime with this error, it's essential to inspect it closely. Look at the mint mark and check for the doubling effect. This is the hallmark of the D/D error. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to examine the mint mark, as it can sometimes be hard to spot with the naked eye. If you find the error, your coin might be worth much more than you thought. To ensure you're getting the best value for your coin, it's also a good idea to have it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services will assess the coin's condition, and having a certified grade can help you determine its true market value. A high-grade coin, especially one with an error, will often fetch far more than one with lower wear or damage. As with any valuable collectible, rarity is key. The 1937 Mercury Dime with the D over D mint mark error is an example of how a minor mistake during the minting process can result in a coin that becomes a treasure. Not only is this coin rare, but it also holds a place in the hearts of many collectors because of its historical significance and beautiful design. Finding a coin like the 1937 D over D Mercury Dime is the dream of many collectors. And if you're lucky enough to have one, it could be worth more than just a couple $100s, it could be worth hundreds of thousands. So, whether you're digging through a jar of old coins or scanning through an estate sale, always remember that coins like the 1937 Mercury Dime could be hiding in plain sight. Take the time to examine your coins closely, and who knows? You might just discover a valuable piece of US history that's worth a lot more than its face value. Second rare coin, we're about to explore one of the most iconic and valuable coins from the United States, the 1942 Mercury Dime. At first glance, it may seem like just another dime from the early 1940s, but let me tell you, there's so much more to this little coin than meets the eye. If you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, this video is going to take you on a journey through history, rarity, and some jaw-dropping value. Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal just how much this particular dime could be worth today. The Mercury Dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime, was first introduced in 1916, and it continued to be minted until 1945. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, the coin's obverse features a portrait of Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, a symbol of freedom and liberty. The reverse side of the coin shows a fasces, a bundle of rods symbolizing strength and unity, alongside an olive branch to represent peace. This simple yet powerful design has made the Mercury Dime one of the most beloved coins in US history. Now, let's zoom in on the 1942 Mercury Dime in particular. By this time, the United States was deep into World War II, and the country's focus on war efforts had led to significant changes in the economy and production processes. As a result, the minting of coins during this period wasn't just about creating currency, it was also about making do with the resources available at the time. The 1942 Mercury Dime is significant because it marks a pivotal year in the history of the coin. This was the year when the US Mint began producing silver coins with a small but noticeable change to the composition of the metal used. Due to a shortage of silver during the war, the Mint began minting dimes with a mix of silver and a little bit of copper. But what makes the 1942 coin especially interesting isn't just the metal content, it's the way some of these dimes were struck. You see, in 1942, the US Mint began experimenting with a new alloy for certain coins, which led to a very unique variety of the Mercury Dime. You may have heard of the famous 1942 of 41 overdate variety. This is one of the most exciting error coins of the era, and it's what makes the 1942 Mercury Dime particularly valuable among collectors. What exactly does that mean? The 1942-41 overdate error occurred when dies from the previous year, 1941, were used to strike 1942 coins, resulting in a coin that has the numbers 1941 visible beneath the 1942 date. To the untrained eye, it might seem like a normal 1942 dime, but if you look closely at the date, you'll notice the slight overlap of the one from the previous year, creating this error. This makes the coin a true collector's item because it's a rare mistake from the minting process. Finding a 1942 Mercury Dime with the 1942-41 overdate error is not an easy task. These coins are extremely rare, and they stand out in the world of numismatics because they were only struck for a brief period. The error happened due to the use of worn-out dies that hadn't been properly replaced, a mistake that went unnoticed by the mint at the time. As a result, only a small number of these coins ever made it into circulation, and even fewer have survived in decent condition. But rarity alone doesn't always equate to value. The condition of the coin is just as important when determining how much a 1942 Mercury Dime is worth. Like any collectible, the better the condition, the more money it can fetch. Coins that have been in circulation for decades, especially ones from the 1940s, often show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and other marks can all lower the value of a coin. On the flip side, coins that have been well preserved and ideally graded by a professional grading service can command top dollar in the market. If you are lucky enough to find a 1942 Mercury dime with the overdate error in pristine condition, you could be looking at a small fortune. It's important to note that coins in uncirculated condition, especially those that have been stored in protective holders or sealed in collections, will always be more valuable than those that have been heavily worn through years of circulation. When it comes to error coins like the 1942-41 overdate Mercury dime, collectors and investors alike are always on the lookout for well-preserved examples. The rarity of the error combined with the condition of the coin is what drives the price skyward. So, how much can you expect a 1942 Mercury dime with this rare error to be worth today? You might be surprised to learn that a 1942 Mercury dime with the 1942-41 overdate error can fetch an astonishing $285,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $285,000 for a single dime. It's truly amazing how a simple mistake at the mint can turn a coin into a collector's dream and a high-dollar investment. When you consider that a regular 1942 Mercury dime is worth just a few dollars, this rare variety with the overdate error is in a league of its own. So, what should you do if you come across a 1942 Mercury dime and want to see if it could be the valuable overdate variety? First, take a good look at the date. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to inspect the numbers closely. Look for any signs of doubling or a faint 1 under the 2 in the 1942 date. If you think you've found it, don't hesitate to get it professionally graded by an expert coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. The grading process will give you an accurate assessment of the coin's value and condition, helping you make an informed decision about its worth, whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone who's just starting to build a collection. The 1942 Mercury dime with the overdate error is a coin worth keeping an eye out for. With its historical significance, stunning design, and incredibly high value, it's a true treasure in the world of numismatics. And if you happen to find one in your collection, you might just be holding onto a rare piece of U.S. history that's worth far more than you could ever have imagined. Especially, we have a real gem to talk about, the 1945 Mercury dime. This little piece of American currency, though small in size, carries a wealth of historical significance and value that might surprise you. Whether you've been collecting coins for years or are just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the 1945 Mercury dime is a coin you won't want to miss. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the history of the coin, its design, its unique features, and of course, its incredible value in today's market. Stick with us until the end, and we'll reveal just how much this dime could be worth today. Let's begin by stepping back in time to the year 1945, a momentous year in history. The world was in the final stages of World War II, and the United States was beginning to emerge victorious. The economy was undergoing significant changes, with the nation's focus shifting from wartime production to peacetime prosperity. And during this period of change, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins, including the Mercury dime, which had been in circulation since 1916, designed by Adolph A. Weinman. The Mercury dime features a striking image of Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom and the pursuit of liberty. The reverse side of the coin showcases a fasces, a bundle of rods representing unity and strength, alongside an olive branch symbolizing peace. This elegant and timeless design has made the Mercury dime one of the most beloved coins in U.S. history. Now, let's talk about the 1945 Mercury dime specifically. This coin holds a special place in numismatics because 1945 marked the final year of production for the Mercury Dime series. After nearly 30 years of production, the U.S. Mint stopped issuing these coins in favor of a new design. So, the 1945 Mercury Dime is the last of its kind in the series, making it a highly sought-after collectible. But there's more to this coin than just its historical significance. While the 1945 Mercury Dime was struck in large numbers, The value of the coin today depends largely on its condition, rarity, and the presence of any minting errors. Just like with any collectible, the better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. Most of the 1945 dimes that have been in circulation for decades show signs of wear, with visible scratches, discoloration, and other marks that lower their value. However, coins that have been well preserved over the years are much more valuable, and the rarest examples can fetch incredible prices in today's market. In particular, the 1945 Mercury Dime with the full bands strike is a coin that has gained significant attention among collectors. The term full bands refers to the level of detail on the reverse side of the coin, specifically on the fasces. A high-quality strike will show the bands of the fasces with full detail, making the coin more desirable to collectors. Coins with full bands are considered to be of higher quality and are often more valuable than their counterparts with weaker strikes. But the 1945 Mercury Dime doesn't just stand out because of its design or the full bands variety. The rarity of certain mint errors also contributes to the coin's value. For example, some 1945 dimes were struck with slight misprints or other imperfections, which can make them even more valuable to collectors seeking unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. Errors like double strikes, off-center punches, or minting flaws can significantly increase the worth of a coin. Now, let's talk about how much the 1945 Mercury Dime could be worth today. As with most rare and collectible coins, the price can vary widely depending on the condition, rarity, and any special features the coin might have. A standard 1945 Mercury Dime in average circulated condition might only be worth a few dollars, but when you factor in key characteristics like full bands, mint errors, and pristine condition, the value can skyrocket. In fact, if you happen to own a 1945 Mercury Dime in excellent condition, especially one with a full band strike or a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a fortune. Some of these coins have sold for as much as $250,000. Yes, you heard that right, $250,000 for a single dime. It's incredible to think that a coin worth only 10 cents when it was originally minted can now fetch such a staggering price. But that's the power of rarity and condition in the world of coin collecting. A high-quality 1945 Mercury Dime is truly a treasure, and its value is a testament to the enduring appeal of this iconic piece of American history. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1945 Mercury Dime in your possession? First, take a close look at the coin. Inspect the details on the obverse and reverse sides, especially the fasces. A well-struck coin with clear, distinct bands on the fasces is much more valuable than one with weak or blurry details. If you suspect that your coin might be a rare variety or error coin, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grading service can assess the coin's condition and determine its true market value, which will give you a clearer picture of how much your coin might be worth. It's also worth mentioning that, while most 1945 Mercury Dimes won't reach the high values we've talked about, they still make for a fantastic addition to any collection. The 1945 Mercury Dime represents the final chapter in a series that spanned nearly 3 decades, and for that reason alone, it's a coin that's highly cherished by collectors. Whether you've inherited a collection of coins, stumbled upon a 1945 Mercury Dime in your change, or you're actively searching for rare coins to add to your collection, remember that even the smallest coins can hold extraordinary value. A 1945 Mercury Dime, especially one with the right features, could be a hidden treasure worth far more than its face value. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the fascinating world of the 1945 Mercury Dime. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on any future discoveries. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck with your coin collecting journey.